Hey, what's up, guys? This is MugenLord here, and today we want to talk about some Tekken 8. It appears that maybe Harada and the developers down at Bandai Namco has pretty much essentially given us a blueprint of how they're going to pretty much drip feed us content up until its release. So before we dive into it, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button. It definitely helps me out in the algorithm. Don't forget that notification bell for more fighting games and JRPG content here on this channel. Now, Tekken 8 is something that I'm pretty much curious about and looking forward to, is because Tekken 7 haven't really spent much time with it. Is because, man, during time Tekken 7, it was just so many fighting games also dropping out and just releasing left and right, and that I was really getting into, especially with Arc System work, constantly just releasing some titles, more specifically in regards of BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, Dragon Ball Fighters. I've been spending a lot of my time and investment into the Arc System side of things, so it pretty much took away from Tekken in a sense. But Tekken 8 is, I think, is a perfect time for me to actually start diving into it, is because it seems as though in Tekken 8 that Harada, as we mentioned before, and the team is pretty much shifting gears with the game in terms of how the game is going to play overall, since they're going with this more of an aggressive approach. And we just seen some gameplay trailers of Paul Phoenix, Nina, Kazuya, and of course Jin Kazama himself. And man, I must say that I love the fact is that we're getting a chance to see how the developers are showing off how some of the OG characters are going to pretty much essentially function in Tekken 8. They really want to show off how the gameplay mechanics work as far as the heat gauge mechanic is concerned, and also the aggressive gameplay mechanics. And I'm gonna say, when it comes to Jin Kazama, man, that dude, his whole complete moveset, his toolkit completely changed. This is like the second time they changed his character, I believe. Because I remember in Tekken 3, when he first made his debut, he pretty much essentially took the Mishima style, or Kazuya's moveset in Tekken 3, since Kazuya wasn't in the game, because of plot reasons. And then when Tekken 4 came, they totally stripped away Jin Kazama's moves and gave him a whole new original moveset, because Kazuya returned in Tekken 4. So it made sense that they would have to change him up. And I didn't really like his moveset in Tekken 4 at all when it came to Jin. And then here we go once more in Tekken 8. I mean, my man got a dive kick now. That is essentially crazy, but the combos is just freaking sick. He just an overall just different character. And I think a lot of Jin fans are going to enjoy that, because I guess you could say it's a breath of fresh air for a lot of players that's returning into the game. And that's what I think they're going for with this brand new take on the gameplay mechanics, as far as aggression, cancels, heat gauge, and everything like that. Because when you look at the Paul Phoenix trailer, Paul Phoenix, essentially, even though that out of everybody else they have shown so far, Paul is still Paul in a sense, but he is definitely way more aggressive. And I know we'll address his hair. I know his hairdo is pretty much kind of silly. I don't know, like, he's an old man. Paul's up there in age, and it just looked silly seeing this dude with a hairstyle like that. Because we're so accustomed to, his traditional Paul Phoenix, ridiculous hairdo. And then they give him back the slick hair again. Now, for those of you who may have just jumped into Tekken, around maybe like Tekken 6, maybe Tekken 7, you probably don't know that Paul did wear his hair down before, when it came to Tekken 4, where he had more so his hair laying down. And I thought that was pretty cool, but at the same time, Paul was pretty much unrecognizable, because I couldn't believe it was Paul. All right, is that Ken? But yeah, and some people is theorizing that, hey, every 4 Tekken games, Paul will wear his hair down or something like that. But I must say that Paul is a freaking monster and really aggressive. And I believe they also gave him somewhat of like a grapple type move, where he can just grab you from the air after you perform a combo and slam you to the ground. And then he also got armored attack as well. They can absorb attacks, which I think is pretty cool. And we also get an introduction to another new stage, which is like a helicarrier type of stage, which also has some environmental effects where you can pretty much knock them off the balcony and then go to the second level of the stages. I love destructible stages or stages that have multiple layers because, I don't know, it has that Dead or Alive, DOA energy. And I love Dead or Alive when it comes to the environment destructions. And you see that, you know, of course, that Tekken has also adopted that too. But I still also wish that Tekken had that Tekken 4 formula as far as the stages are concerned, where each of the stages did vary in how, you know, it played out and how it advantaged your fighter depending on what character that you pick. And also when it comes to his rage arc, his special ability that he has, which, you know, is basic, where he charges up his punch and he punches you, but I do love the effect to where, you know, he bulks up his biceps and then it rips pretty much the arm sleeve off his jacket, and then it stays that way. So imagine like if you do it in the first round or something like that and it rips and then it carries over into the second round. So I think that's a pretty nice touch that essentially added to it. And then of course, you know, I also cover Kazuya. Kazuya is still Kazuya. I think he looks pretty sick. And you know, if you guys don't know, I was a Kazuya main, Julia main, and of course Asuka main as well. And I guess you would say Brian Fury, because I used Brian Fury in Tekken 3 and Tekken 6 as well. But Kazuya will always be my main, and I can't wait to actually give him a try. But overall, man, Tekken 8 is just looking really, really sick. And I'm starting to warm up to how it looks visual. I don't think we will ever get how it would look, if it would ever look like what we've seen in the earlier trailers, but the game is shaping up to look better and better as I'm starting to open up to it even more and more. And the lighting effects, how, you know, especially with the different spark and particle effects. I know some people don't like the particle effects, but I think it's pretty cool. I like what they're going with that, and I'm just looking forward to see what other characters are going to make a return, and hopefully we will start to see some original characters that's you know, made for Tekken 8. You know, we already seen some original characters in Street Fighter 6, and I will be happy, and I think it would be smart for I would say for Bandai Namco to pretty much show us some more of the original characters, so it can feel like, okay, we already know this is Tekken 8 by the gameplay, the visual style, but we need to know even more. We need to solidify that, hey, we're stepping into the next entry of Tekken by showing us some new characters, some completely original characters with some unique, you know, wacky or original or something when it comes to their moveset that really makes these characters stand out. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. I don't know when we will ever see some original characters for this game, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. So that wraps this video up. I definitely want to hear your thoughts in the comment sections below. What do you think about the recent character trailers for Tekken 8? And how many characters do you think are going to be in the base rosters? Because if we do the math or whatever, or just go by what, you know, the pattern, what's been going on, it seems like that Bandai Namco may be releasing a character every other week or something like that, and they're talking like Tekken 8 won't release until next year. So that's a lot of characters that we can go through throughout the months. So definitely leave in the comment section below how many characters you think is going to be in the base roster, and what character are you looking forward to make an appearance in Tekken 8. So if you liked the video, definitely your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit that like button once again, because it helps me out in the algorithm. And I'll be seeing you game fiends later. This is MugenLord signing off. Peace out.